Retro Rewind!
Hey everybody, welcome to Retro Rewind. I'm Dave Harris, your host, taking your requests live toll-free, 866-841-8090. This hour, lots of good music. And also, we're going to go back to the archives to 2001, my interview with the Bee Gees. Boy, oh boy, I'll have to tell you how great those guys are. Let's get things going with the top 5 hit from 1986. Here's NXS and their age-old question, what you need. Maybe it's just a statement. I actually created Retro Rewind in October of 1997. I remember sitting at my dinner table, supper table, whatever, in my kitchen in Nashville, and this thing just hit me, you know, Retro Rewind, man. Well, wouldn't that be cool if you do a syndicated show? I had written for some syndicated shows when I was, you know, a little younger, so I knew I could do it. I knew I had the information in my head as far as, you know, chart positions and things like that.
Hi, this is Kenny Loggins, and you're listening to Retro Rewind with Dave Harris.
I think what sets Retro Rewind apart from any other show that's going on right now is not only the library of songs, but the knowledge of the music. Is that, you know, I've been lucky enough to, you know, befriend a lot of, you know, the artists from the time period, from the 80s and late 70s and early 90s, to where they're actually, you know, friends of mine. I can call and, you know, call them up and say, hey, listen, you'd like to do another interview? You got something new coming out? Would you go and plug for us? Things like that.
Retro Rewind, the Retro Files. The music is out there.
Going back to 1992, here's one you don't always get to hear, and you should. Well, I'm going to take care of that for you right now. Jude Cole, title track off his third album. Here's Start the Car. It's on Retro Rewind.
Well, I'm tired of the pressure, tired of the pace.
Always enjoyed that song, Start the Car. Jude Cole makes his living these days managing a group called Lifehouse. Hanging by a Moment had a hit a couple years back. Jude's a buddy of mine, and he's recently built a recording studio with his partner, Kiefer Sutherland, the actor. It's always hard to say Kiefer Sutherland. There we go. And his business partner, I should say. Both gentlemen happily married. But he doesn't get enough radio airplay, I feel, and the segment you just heard me do is called the Retro Files, and it gives me an opportunity to play a lot of songs that you forgot about, sort of the oh wow kind of song, like oh wow. So hopefully someone out there right now is going, oh wow, man, I haven't heard Jude Cole Start the Car in a long time. And I told Jude I just talked to him a while ago before I started the show, and I told him I'd play Start the Car tonight, and I think he's already cashing his check, so there you go.
Become a DHP, Dave Harris Pal. Join the mailing list at www.retrorewind.com.
Hey, this is Richard Marks, and you know I'm proud to be a DHP. And for those of you out there who don't know what DHP means, it's a Dave Harris Pal. And I am a Dave Harris Pal. And I'll tell you something, this guy is all about music. He's all about respecting people's musicality. And he's a pretty good kiss for a guy.
I'd like to go on record stating that I've never kissed Richard Marks, and nor do I have any plans. But am I a pretty good kiss for a guy? I can't prove that, but there are rumors. I think as the show has progressed and as word of mouth has gotten out there, some of the bigger name artists, you know, realize what we're trying to do. We're trying to give them an outlet to, you know, promote, you know, something new, to whereas, you know, they wouldn't get that chance in radio today. DJ's favorite pastime, answering phone calls. Here we go. Hi, Retro Rewind. Good, how are you tonight? Nice. I take it you want to hear something. Well, I got plenty from those guys. Did you see them on their tour this summer? You missed out. It was a good one. They're very good. They did a lot of their stuff a cappella, or not a cappella, but acoustic. There we go. Too many ACs in there. Yes, I'll get that on for you. All right, thanks for calling Retro Rewind. Nelson. I want to hear a number one hit that they had back in 1990, which is not too hard to believe. They had good harmonies. It was a good song, catchy song. So Love and Affection from Nelson's coming up. that's what we do. We take the calls, and you can't get to all of them, obviously, because you wouldn't get any work done if you're just sitting there yapping on the phone. Such a great song. Makes me want to cry. Oh, that Richard Marx and those lovey-dovey songs that he has. He's great. And I've never kissed that guy. I don't know, he was just yapping. He just made that up. So don't start thinking, things about Marx and myself, all right? Keep it right here. We got a request for Nelson. They're coming up here before too long. But my favorite group, the Cars, are next.
Retro rewind.
It's a time when people can reflect on when they were younger, when things were good, when things were safe. They didn't have to worry about bills and family and jobs and that kind of stuff. All you worried about is, making sure you did your homework, making sure you made, t-ball practice or football practice, little league, stuff like that. It's, the 30 to 40-year-old now it's their moment, in this business. Or maybe in the world right now, and so that's why I think the late 70s, and the entire 80s and a snippet of the 90s are coming in, pretty big now.
Get yourselves together.
Here we go.
And now back to Retro Rewind with Dave Harris. It's a whole new way to listen to the radio on Weekend Hits Live.
Now here, folks, is a band that I love that should be in the Hall of Fame by now. Their time, their eligibility is already, it's time. They're already eligible. There we go for the Hall of Fame. Pretty much the founders of new wave rock and roll, and well, what's the deal? What's the dealio? The critics love them. Those are the people who mainly vote to put them in. So let's get the Cars in the Hall of Fame. I'm a lover of music. I'm born in 71, so I actually physically remember hearing music from 74 on. So I literally remember from 74, Band on the Run, Seasons in the Sun, Rock the Boat, When Will I See You Again. In like 75 or so, when Elton John was big, we were living in Frankfurt. My dad was in the military, so I remember he bought like Elton John's greatest hits on album, as you know, there used to be a thing called records and vinyl and stuff like that. And instead of buying me a piano to play Elton John songs, he bought me a guitar, which was about as big as I was. So here I was playing guitar to Elton John, the piano guy.
I'll be waiting at the doorway. This life of ours is through. I'll find you to remind you that I've always been in love with you.
Loving music, I knew that I wanted to have something to do with it. So that got me started, I guess, in music in general, and then became a fan of it more and more. Got into songwriting when I was about 12, and got into radio when I was 12.
I saw you. Don't think you saw me.
My best friend in the world, I feel, is Scott Grimes, who you might know from the 80s movies Critters 1 and Critters 2. But since then, he's gone on to bigger and better things like Party of Five, also Band of Brothers, and now he'll be in the second season of the ER this year. And Scott's fixing his lunch, and look what he's making for me, edamame. A couple of guys here cooking, or he's doing it. He and I have been writing songs for about 10 years, and it's finally coming to fruition. He's been recording at Capitol Records in Los Angeles. His album will be out here before too long, and it's been a joy to be able to work with Scott and create some very heartfelt songs, as well as some great music. And this actually expired yesterday, so he's trying to kill me.
Oh, it did expire yesterday. It said sell by.
It said sell by.
Retro Rewind, the Retro Files. The music is out there.
Here's a top 20 hit you don't get to hear too darn much. Why? I don't know. Or We're bringing it out of retirement. Here's John Fogerty, Rock and Roll Girls, from his album Center Field. It's on Retro Rewind.
Sometimes I think life is just a rodeo.
Never liked the falsetto in this song too much, but it works. We're all critics. We're all critics at heart. I've always enjoyed the drums, though, on this song. Very simple, but he's really nice. You know, I play drums, so he slipped a few things in there that I thought were very tasteful, if you will. Retro Rewind has become a, I don't want to say like a second home, but it's almost like, I feel, the Dennis DeYoung radio network. Dennis DeYoung, one of my dearest friends, I feel this man is Styx, and certainly he wrote a lot of the hits for Styx, and whether they be the top 10 hits or the top 40 hits, this guy wrote the majority of the songs, and it's clear to see when he's solo performing that it's a lot more like Styx than when you see Styx with now. I mean, you've done a lot of things. You certainly don't need us, but you've been a staple for us, and you've given me the opportunity to kind of get back to you. So, any words on retro? And I've got
$100 will make me speak, very highly of, 150. You could be here all night. Well, retro. I can't even, the thing, I wish you'd change the name of your show from Retro Rewind, because I can't say that, but RR, can I just say RR?
You can say RR.
For all you people who, listen to Dave on RR, they've been good to me right from the very beginning that, when we first posted our first interview, and in an effort to set the record straight, as it were. And, you've been so helpful in many ways in helping me promote myself beyond, being the guy in Styx and being the guy out of Styx now. And I appreciate it. And it's a great show, and I listen to it every week, although it's not broadcast in Chicago. But if it were on, I'd turn it on.
Hi, this is Dennis DeYoung, and you're listening to Retro Rewind with Dave Harris.
Tonight's the night we'll make history. Honey, you and I.
That's how you do it. You get a little artist participation in here.
Listen to RR, because I have trouble saying Retro Rewind. I gotta go slow.
I think you're lying to me.
Peace out.
Good stuff. Going back to spring of '81 from their #1 album, Paradise Theater. Dennis DeYoung and Styx, and the best of times. Dennis DeYoung currently on the road right now. You can catch Dennis DeYoung's concert dates on his website, which is simply DennisDeYoung.com. Now you figure that one all out by himself. I can say that. I'm a kidder. Bee Gees are next.
Retro Rewind!
It took me 4 years to land the Bee Gees. They're one of my favorites. I know a lot of people used to laugh about them, when I was growing up. And in high school, I would put, on my Trapper Keeper, the Bee Gees rule. And, people like, okay, he gets his crack where? They were really making fun of me. But now, you go to reunions and things, and the Bee Gees are cool again.
Retro Rewind. Retro Rewind. One-on-one.
Hey, we're back on Retro Rewind, and as promised, going back to our archives from June of 2001, when we had Morris and Robin Gibb of the Bee Gees on the show. They were promoting their latest album, This Is Where I Came In, and sadly would turn out to be their last album together because Morris would pass away in January of 2003. Now, part of my interview with the Bee Gees. Guys, what a treat. Thanks for joining us here on the show.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. It's good to be here.
Nice to be here. Good to see you.
Many artists say that their latest release is one of their greatest ever, and sometimes you can definitely see through this, guys. Okay, so we're in the archival portion of the show, or where we air interviews, and sometimes we'll have artists in studio, but obviously this one's a 3-year interview, 3 years ago. Morris Gibb, no longer with us, so sometimes we have to do this, and there's certainly no, deceit, I don't guess. We're saying it's an archived interview. So that's what we're doing here is airing that, and so I just let it roll, sort of collect my thoughts, and then have the song that we're going to roll under it come out of the interview. So at this point, we turn it over to the listener so they can enjoy the artists that we're profiling. They were one of the artists that would not embrace the retro thing because they burning records and stuff, and the disco movement and stuff. It took a little while for them to realize how cool it was, and just staying sort of intact and presenting it professionally to them. They finally agreed to do the show. So I think that's what we offer. We offer a lot of music. Audience participation, we get interviews, we get rare performances, unplugged performances from these artists. And a lot of times they'll give us new music that hasn't even been released yet, so you could hear sort of what they're doing right now as well. And it's kind of sad to hear because they were actually thinking about touring in 2002 and even 2003. But obviously, when Morris passed away, it was just Barry and Robin, and that was all she wrote for the Bee Gees.
And because they love the song. And I think that, for us, once again, is part of the longevity.
I agree. That was Morris Gibb, the late Morris Gibb of the Bee Gees. Going back to '89, here was a comeback hit for those guys, and believe me, I was doing backflips when these guys hit the top 10 with this song. It's called One, Retro Rewind. That's the payoff. To be able to play, usually at the time when I aired this on Retro Rewind, we played something new off the album. This is where I came in, title track from that album. But now it gives me something, good to say. This was a comeback hit in the late 80s when they hadn't had a top 40 hit in years. Written and produced them for other artists, but not for themselves, so this was good. To do something like this is, a gift. I look at it as a gift. I mean, there's a lot of hard jobs out there in the world today, and I'm lucky that I don't have to do a hard job. It comes natural. So I love playing the music. I love taking the phone calls. I love attending concerts of people that I grew up with and enjoy, or people that are friends of mine at this point now, promoting what they have new. That's how I pay them back for all the enjoyment they brought me as a kid. Yeah, back to the summer of '89 from their album One, title track, the Bee Gees there, and a top 10 hit on the pop chart and a number 1 hit on the adult contemporary chart. Definitely a comeback for those folks. All right, keep it right here. As promised, requested music. You know what I mean. Someone wanted to hear a song. Nelson is next.
Retro Rewind!
It's a live show. You kind of goof, like I consider that a small goof. Maybe someone wouldn't, but I do, because I'm a perfectionist like that. You just got to keep on trucking. Like Eddie Kendricks, you got to keep going. From the early days of Retro Rewind, a couple of friends of mine who were partners in crime with me on the show when it was created in October of '97. That would be Hollywood Hendricks and Bumper Morgan. Worked with Hollywood in Nashville at a radio station there, and Bumper and Hollywood had worked together at Y107 in Nashville, which was a very big station in the 80s. And I wasn't actually the first host of Retro Rewind. I mean, I was the creator, but I was also the executive producer along with Bumper and the writer of the show. So Hollywood Hendricks was our very first host, and he did a great job. He brought a lot of funny delivery, if you will, to it. We had a lot of good times, and we were syndicated for about 3 or 4 months, and things had to sort of come to an end. And part of that was that I left to manage the 80s act, the Outfield. And I don't want to label them 80s because they're certainly had some hits at the 90s, and they're even better live now. And John Spinks and Tony Lewis, both very good friends of mine.
CD 101, that is brand new from the Outfield on a record that's not even out yet. Yes.
Summer of '98, we actually put them guys back out on the road for the first time in like 9 years and had a lot of fun.
Can we say wanker?
Yeah. I've been worried sick about them, but they're finally here, the Outfield. Everybody say, hey!
Unbelievable! Yeah!
Man, you have your own fanfare. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Wow!
You'll see Santa's vacation far away. Come around and talk it over. So many things that I wanna say. Our love goes a little bit older. I just wanna use your love tonight. I don't wanna lose your love tonight.
Become a DHP, Dave Harris Pal. Join the mailing list at www.retrorewind.com.
Hey, this is Gunnar Nelson from Nelson, and I'm darn proud to be a DHP.
Never can have too many DHPs, you know. You need bailed out of jail or, you know, lunch money or anything like that. It's always a good thing to have a DHP. Well, we've got a website that we would like to promote. It's really easy. It's retrorewind.com, and we're always looking for, I guess, advice on how we can improve the website. So we're currently undergoing a facelift on the website, but that's something that we'll, you know, do from time to time, and you'll be able to see video greetings from some of the artists, as well as hear past shows, hear unplugged performances and in-studio performances and interviews and things like that.
Hey everybody, this is Anthony Vita from Retro Rewind. Just want to give you a little insight into what I do here. I'm in charge of Tales from the Top, which is our weekly look at a #1 song from the past. We give you the story behind it. Sometimes I do some research and find out some neat stories, and sometimes we get the artists themselves to come in and talk about it. Also compile retro news. I go get headlines from artists that were big in the 80s and 90s, maybe even the 70s, and talk about what they're doing now. I also am in charge of the website, retrorewind.com. Please come check it out. We got much more planned. It's pretty exciting too, and that's really why I'm doing this. It's exciting to give back to the artists that I grew up with and to help them out now. So thanks for coming to the site, and thanks for hanging with Retro Rewind.
You know, I'd like to be, you know, the Dick Bartley, you know, of my generation. I mean, this guy's got a great show. He's been doing it for a long time, and mainly 50s and 60s music, some 70s in there, and he does it live. And I think, you know, we offer, you know, 5 hours of great programming, in-studio guests, your phone calls, or, you know, the phone calls of your listeners and things like that. And it's a fun show, and, you know, it's one less body you have to pay to push buttons in your studio. So not only that, you get a quality show that you could take 1, 2 hours, the whole 5 hours, whatever you want. I'm rocking out the Nelson, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to be rocking out the Nelson. It's good stuff here. Incidentally, though, our time is just about up, so I'll be glad to see these lights go out. It's very hot in here. I think I've lost about 5-6 pounds, which I could stand to lose a few. Never thought I would say that, though. When I was a kid, way skinny. But now, working on a spare tire. So, thanks for hanging out. This is part of my world, Retro Rewind. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm glad to make it part of your world for just a few moments or so. That's what we do here. Nothing elaborate, nothing special, nothing sophisticated. Just kind of laid back. And so you can go now. Thank you. I don't like cameras.
Retro Rewind!
There is too much to remember. There is too much to forget. There are times of hallowed beauty. There are days full of regret. I'll be